Know you without me. I know this, so I'm not letting go. Shout to everybody, you rocking with your boy, TheCzarr, all rights reserved. Little tune from Wiz, I would play it for you. PA stand up. Now let's get into it. I got a question for everybody. What would happen if these experts find something indecent while they're going through the information that Dedrick D. Williams' rush to the grant has allowed them to do? Now, let's backtrack a little bit. We have 4 suspects that were arrested, and these 4 suspects' faces were put up publicly. In the midst of it, there's been, let's say, some talk that has not yet been released, where question has come around investigators that were directly linked to the situation. This is huge because now we have something that stands against the information we know to be up front, that adds questioning to not only the suspects, but to individuals who were investigating the suspects. And there's alleged charges maybe coming against investigators. That's how deep in the game they were. Whoever would have thought that criminals would be deep in the game wearing badges? But now, as it's posed and as everything's being released and exposing is beginning to occur, we're starting to see other players around the situation that are involved in a deeper manner, that are more involved than they ever should have been, that are instrumental in certain things, that are starting to hook people who we did not think would be involved in anything. But ask yourself this: what was it really worth for them to hang around him when he was making these decisions? And by him, I mean Tentacion, to separate himself from certain people who thought a certain way. Isn't that what we're all taught to do? As you begin to elevate your mind and enlighten yourself, you separate yourself from being a part of certain things to think at a higher level, one that doesn't involve you being with a crowd, or one that doesn't involve you needing assistance to reach that higher level. Isn't that the thought process? Well, that's where his talent was. And knowing his talent was there, these 4 suspects, not apparent in any group, naming themselves, claiming any group that is synonymous with him, where do they play into the picture? Who are they really related to? Who really knows them in depth? Well, one, we can assume Tentacion may have known, and that may have been the reason on camera he looked at him that way when he entered the store. But at the same time, I'm being told that certain gestures went down in the video that was released, which, again, the fact that experts are on it to see if there's any editing in the audio or video, we can't come out and say without a shadow of a doubt, because there's still question around the video and audio altogether. Now, to be in a position to question video and audio, aren't there certain things that need done? Aren't there certain, let's say, talents that need to be utilized to allow people without this knowledge to be able to elevate their cover-up of their situation? Now, that's a lot of the different thoughts that are running through my mind, as well as thoughts that are pertaining to certain people claiming to be friends and those playing friend that could be enemy. So let me ask everyone this. With all of the information we have up to now, what do you think will occur if there's edits found in the video, or if they say that nothing is wrong with it? Because we've seen many things wrong with the case itself, and now their focus is seeing what's wrong with the video and the audio. Does that mean they've already found in these persons of interest the questions and the answers that lead them to the next level to actually figure out how the plot went down? That's a plot twist in itself, because we would not know this unless it was released to everyone. And that's the danger that this situation is in for people who may have been involved and thought they would slide out of it. Now, off of that topic, again, these suspects' faces were rushed up on, but the question still hasn't been answered. How were they tracked down so swiftly? So were the people who initiated the tracking down and the information that led to these 4 men involved some way and somehow during the investigation, having inside information to make them fall guys? And then they became fall guys when the law may have found out that inadvertently their information led them to these guys. So now you all have to go down and we got new persons of interest. Is this a possible feat? Well, looking at how it unfolded, it is something that's possible to objectively discuss. What other information is out there that isn't making sense in a righteous way? Well, we've seen the claims that allegedly there are many foundations and charities now being opened in the name of Tentacion, accepting funds in a certain way. That's another look at what's going on. And who are they all ran by? See, they're not all ran by family too. There's other people that are doing it that have to show some type of credibility, even if they say it's going for a right cause, because it's not just going to empower what's going on through the traffic of their website. It's going to empower funds into the pockets of man and woman. So that's a different look altogether. Now that we're looking at all these different angles, and now we're seeing that claims that he was an abuser. This story ran on the news. This story was put out by famous magazines. Why wasn't this contested? That is another viewpoint. This is a mashup. Like my NY chick could say, this is a mashup of different angles and objective thought that has not been done. Aside from that, TheCzarr seen the last page of a toxicology in an autopsy, but I did not see the whole sheet. What was the cause of death? These are all things that are swirling. So when you have a mashup of things swirling, what is it truly covering up? Because this is when it seems like a setup is a setup, right? When all the pieces are fuzzy and you're trying to put the puzzle together, but none of the pieces are fitting into the picture of what's before us. Does this not make you think in an objective way to say, what actually is happening here? Now, off that, how come every time we mention an objective situation, not accusing, we had that particular person in comments? Even under hidden names. Yes, you were. Yes, you were. In a hidden name here in the comments trying to talk. Because you can't stand behind your own name. Don't you enjoy the name that you gave yourself on YouTube that you got to hide your face and name? Why can't you just come out and speak with a clear motive, with a clear persona? Now, TheCzarr already told you I never heard TheCzarr All Rights Reserved on anyone's channel, and everyone can vouch for that. If I spoke, you saw TheCzarr speaking. It wasn't me speaking under TheCzarr Kibbles and Bits or whatever. You guys make up them weird names, and hop on and try and speak. Or you hop under a name that's nowhere near linked to you, and you try and add distortion or some type of distraction. How many distractions have we had added to the case? And it's only made it more guilty looking. These are all factors that must be understood as the full picture is being built. See, we the people know what freedom of speech is, but you don't have the freedom to violate others for your own gain, even though a lot of people may differ and beg to differ and try and make reasoning behind it. We know this to not be true because this violates your rights and your constitutional rights as a single individual. This is very important. All of these are very powerful statements and very powerful evidence that indicate that there's an alternate issue brewing behind the scenes. Not even what I've spoken about regarding Bella or Geneva. These are all parts to a whole moving machine. So what is the catch? Where are we seeing an indifference that certain people are still here, but the superstar phenomenon had to go? Why? Where are these issues stemming? You see, is it possible someone that had a greater status, a greater stand, was allowed to step on the toes of someone smaller because they were not at the caliber they were? That's when those questions come into play. That is why a producer's mentioned, a manager's mentioned. We've seen the management with 6ix9ine, how the plot was thickening around that. And that's alleged in court documents by the feds. So if they can see that picture, why can't they see this picture very clear? How are they being in other ways, shape, and form when things are alleged, like a 30 pack. That could have been anything. A 30 pack of hot dogs. Like, it could have been anything. But they can't find the lingo in the mixture and movements of other people that are seeming very suspect in this case. What's so special about this case? From the very beginning, I brought this out the same way, asking questions, wondering what's going on, why certain things weren't mentioned, why I see it mentioned over there, why they did this different, but they're doing this way, why that was concluded that way, but this is like, nah, it can't be that way. It got to be over here somewhere else in left field, and we need to do this and that. How many times have we seen this and it led to a darker setup than we ever could understand? That's what this is. It's understanding that when you're thinking objective and you're bringing up different questions that are legit. Where's his phone? Where's his phone? No, I'm sorry. Where's one of his 8 phones? Really? No findings, no evidence leading to them gaining some type of conclusion to something else that could be going on. Why? Why? That is one of the first things you guys collect. Why? Now, I'm going to give credit to every investigative office in the world. They have to vouch for this. You guys got to vouch for this. All your investigations. Have you ever heard of a victim being deceased and none of his stuff being collected? Like, where's his phone? Where's the clothes that show the bloodstains? Where's all of this stuff? Am I just out here in left field thinking by myself? Where's all of this stuff? I want you guys to think about that very genuinely, because tomorrow we back lit. Go check out yesterday if you missed that, and then you'll get the bigger picture. You know how I rock. All rights reserved.